From my heart and from my hand, why don't people understand my intention?
Happy to have you aboard here for the Really Big Barbecue Show.
We cook because we have to, and we grill because we want to.
Fine, how's it going?
You have a great show. I'm a big fan. So what seems to be the problem here? This man looks like he's dead, and he's in the crackle.
Charbono! It's all about the Charbono, dude!
Succulent fish. What?
He ate 54 wieners.
But listen, Lavernius, shake a face.
I'm shaking like a dog shitting peach seeds.
You could use it to fight off creeping marauders looking to take your steaks off your grills.
I just like being anywhere with Junior, Senior, and Diva.
Sounds like a whole other type of movie.
Wow. Yeah, really. Keep it hot, keep it clean, keep it lubricated.
We have top men working on it right now. Who? Top men.
All right, welcome to the second hour. It's the After Dark portion of the show, ladies and germs. 877-448-0433. Yeah, we got a couple prizes to give away, too, so hopefully I don't forget to hang on after we get Harry Carey. After we get Harry Carey. After we get rid of Myron Mixon. We have a barbecue hook left to give away, and we have the El Capitan seasoning to give away, and we also have the Oakwood, or the wine-infused Oakwood products from Greenleaf Barbecue. So be sure to listen to this great interview that I'm going to be doing here with Myron Mixon very shortly. And then after the interview, we have to assume that I'm going to remember to give away this stuff. And assuming I do that, then we will go ahead and grab a few winners. And don't worry, because the 4-segment free-for-all is only one segment. Harry Carey is only good for one segment. I've asked him a number of times to come on and actually do more than one segment, but he refuses. He's a very big star. He's a Hall of Fame broadcaster, for crying out loud. So Harry Carey only does one segment on the show for the giveaways. So stick with me here after we get to Myron Mixon, and we will clear out the prize closet. So we'll go ahead and race over to the hotline. Joining me now is probably the winningest man currently in competition barbecue. He was a breakout star in Season 1 of the BBQ Pitmasters, which can be seen on TLC. He is a judge this season on Season 2. Everybody knows him. Everybody loves him, and he's a friend of the show. It's Myron Mixon. Myron, how are you tonight, brother?
Good to be with you, big man.
Certainly happy that you have cleared the proverbial schedule here, Myron, to come on the Barbecue Central show in the After Dark segment. So we're free to kind of let loose this portion of the show, a little bit more relaxed than the standard 9 o'clock version. The kids have went to bed, so we can let it all hang out here. So, lots of places that we can start here. But let's go ahead and start with the TV show first, and then maybe we can transition over into a little bit of the competition side of the barbecue arena. Kind of a recap of Season 1 for you. How did you feel BBQ Pitmasters ended, and were you really happy when it was all said and done, and now that you've had some time away from it, with the overall finished product, and just, again, encompassing Season 1?
I think the first season, it's a total different show than what we're doing now, and I really liked it. I mean, it was all about competition barbecue, following them around, following the comp teams, getting to see the ins and outs, seeing the rivalry between certain teams. And to me, it was all about the world of competition barbecue, but this year's show is a little bit different than that.
So when you heard what was your initial reaction after you were told that there was going to be a fairly dramatic format change from Season 1 to Season 2?
Well, I had reservations about it. The biggest thing I had concern about was they didn't want me cooking in it. That's what really bothered me.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I'm all about trying to get paid, and I want to win all the prize money I can get. But once they laid the format out for me, and I saw what the show was going to, and it is a good show. You got your contestants, you got a group of judges, which I'm one of the judges, and you basically start eliminating people. You got to send people home, and hell, there ain't nothing I like better than sending somebody's ass home.
But you like to do it better after you've whipped their ass doing it on the cooking side of things, right?
Well, yeah, and that's the only place I've ever had to do that at. And I've never been gotten to be certified in any kind of KCBS or MIM judging, and this is my first opportunity to do it.
That's an interesting point that you make there. Let me ask you about that. You hear about a lot of the competition barbecue cooks that are out there on the circuit now. Inevitably, once I bring this up, or they voluntarily say, look, I've gone out and taken the judging classes because I want to see what's being taught as good barbecue, great barbecue, or bad barbecue, and they feel that that's helped them. Any reason that you haven't gone out to take those classes to perhaps better up the product?
Well, I mean, I really don't need anybody, especially at a judging school, to teach me about, what I need to turn in, because at the end of the day, a lot of times they don't get top flight teams to do those classes. They get anybody that can, cook a brisket, cook a Boston butt, cook a chicken, ribs and build these blind boxes up. So necessarily what you're eating there, that class and the way you see blind boxes built aren't coming from some of your premier teams.
All right, so getting back to the show, there was a lot of criticism on a number of the internet forums, and that's kind of where I keep my finger on the pulse. I can't travel around the country in my Learjet as much as I want to. But there seemed to be an initial concern that there was such a departure and such a change from the format of Season 1 to Season 2. And a lot of the people had the same reservations as you had mentioned there a couple minutes ago. Season 1 was following teams around, seeing rivalries built, seeing teams travel to different places, how they're setting up, how they're prepping, how they're cooking, and dealing with environmental issues or loudmouth drunk punks that are walking up into their camp. And that wasn't going to be the case this time around. And the other point that they were making is, with the way it's set up now, it's kind of like a handful or a dozen other shows that are out there on television right now. So in regards to answering that question, what really separates Season 2 of BBQ Pitmasters from some of those other cooking style challenge shows?
Well, the formula for Season 2 is a lot like some of the other formulas that you see out there that are very successful, and success follows success follows success. Everybody wants something that, is already working that you don't have to do a whole lot of thought about. And I know that it not being like Season 1 is really disappointing to, I call the barbecue people out there that really keep up with the contest. They're on the forums, they're on that. But in the scheme of things, and I'm part of that same little area there, we make up less than probably a fraction off an ass percent of people who really watch TV. You know what I'm saying? The diehard competitive barbecuers aren't, they make up a very small fraction of what watches these type shows. But the difference in the second season is it is about barbecue. It's not about, food, and it's not about getting chopped off because you could make the best egg custard and all this kind of crap. It's about barbecue. And it's the most expensive, highest paying food show, not to mention barbecue, but food show overall than any of them. The winner of this deal gets $100,000. And I know who got that money. I mean, I know right now, I'm telling you they got $100,000.
And that's got to be killing you as a judge, right?
I'm not talking about total prize money. I'm talking about one individual walked away at the end of this whole series with $100,000. Yeah,
and that's got to kind of eat at you a little bit, knowing that you're not on the other side of that table with a chance to vie for that kind of a prize package.
Put that, chaps my ass, pretty much.
I would imagine Myron Mixon, pitmaster of Jack's Old South, joining us here on the show. So for the people that don't know, Myron, and of course I'm not going to ask you about the particulars and who's winning and all that stuff, but what's the format of the show, and what are the barbecue aspects that we can plan on seeing?
I mean, the barbecue aspects of it is all your traditional meats that you associate with barbecue. I mean, you got ribs, you got chicken, you got the beef brisket, you got pork, you got it all there. But where the different aspects come in is what we call pit fire challenges that everybody watching will get to see, where we throw in a different element, part of the way during the cooking of the original protein, which will be one of the traditional meats. And kind of tries to throw them for a loop. And then we come later on with what we call a sidewinder challenge, where it comes in with a side dish that goes with some of these items we're doing. And the key to this is, though, somebody gets eliminated off of these things where it comes down to 3. You start out with 4 contestants, and you get eliminated off from your Sidewinder dish, or excuse me, your pit fry dish, which would be the second one, and now you're down to 3. So if somebody goes home, and never gets to complete their first dish they were asked to cook, whether, like say the first dish is a brisket, but they get eliminated before that off of their pit fry challenge, which might be something very exotic, something you normally wouldn't think about eating. God knows I didn't think about eating a lot of it I put in my mouth.
Myron Mixon joining us here on the show. Myron, one of the other big items that really struck a nerve with some of these barbecue purists out there was the host that ultimately was picked for this particular season, that being Kevin Roberts. And certainly he has a lot of experience in the culinary world. He's got some restaurants behind him. He's got a couple books behind him. A lot of people took a little umbrage with his Memorial Day appearance over the Today Show, where he talked about boiling ribs and a number of other kind of mistalks and misspeaks during that 3-minute segment. It's really seemed to alienate a lot of that fan base. Did you know of Kevin Roberts prior, and what did you think before you met him, and what do you think now that you've had some time to interact with him and do the show?
I didn't know Kevin before the show, and I saw the show he did where he squirted the mustard and all that, and that chapped my ass too. But after I got to know Kevin, a lot of that was put on the show and trying to get a rise, I think, out of the public, and he did a good job as a host on here. I got to give him credit for that. And he came around and he learned a lot about barbecue he didn't know. But when people see him on there as a host, he was the fit for it. He was the one that I felt like probably should be there, and it worked out great. We had to educate him a little bit about you don't boil your ribs, and he was good to go after that.
The other new thing to this season, as you had mentioned, was now we have 3 judges. You have yourself, obviously the barbecue expert, then you have former NFL great Warren Sapp, and then you have it's Chef Robert, who is more of a finely trained culinary expert. Warren Sapp is just kind of an eater,
Art
right?
Smith. Art Smith.
That's right, Art Smith. I apologize. So as we break those down, obviously no need to break yourself down. We know where you come from. We know the pedigree and the winning and what you've done here in your competition world. But as the tables are turned and now you're judging, what kind of a change is that for you, and what kind of a challenge is that for you?
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. A lot of the contestants that is coming in front of me, I know probably a lot of them don't like me, and I'm not going to say I loved every damn one that come in front of me, but I make sure, regardless of my personal feelings and opinions, they got a fair shake, because I know how it is to be on the other side of that when you don't get a fair shake with judges a lot of times, especially in the Memphis side of it, where you've won too much, Myron, or you was an ass on the show. I've had a lot of judges walk up to me at Memphis and make contests, as you well know, where on-site judging takes place. And they say it jokingly, but the first thing out of their mouth was, we saw why you bash judges on damn TV about some of them, didn't know their ass from a hole in the ground or something like that. And they laughing, but they remembering it.
Right.
And that you ain't going to tell me it doesn't reflect in their scores. Well, that's fine. I mean every damn word I said. And more. But some judges are asses, and they don't need to be judging. But the thing about it is here, I make it a point to give everybody a fair shake, and everybody got my best score they deserved it, whether I personally liked them or not. Because, again, I know how it is to be on the other side of that, where you get voted on not necessarily your food, it's behind, who you winded down on Friday night, who you gave a beer to, and, who you acted nice to all the time. Well, that ain't what it's about. It's about who's got the best tasting barbecue, period.
Myron Mixon joining us here. He's the pitmaster of Jack's Old South. His website, in case you want some more information, jacksoldSouth.com. Next judge up, former NFL great Warren Sapp. You had mentioned in previous interviews, like when you get down to those really like the bigger contests, that there just isn't a good way of getting a lot of judges. You call them the eaters in the back. Warren Sapp got to be like one of the most textbook definitions of an eater, right?
Hey, let me tell you, you need a damn lot too. I can tell you that. But Warren Sapp, I got to give him credit about this. He takes judging really in the same level I do. If it's good, it's good. If it ain't, it ain't. I mean, he may not know the terms about bark, and, it might not have, about smoke ring and about the smoky flavor, but he does know what tastes good to it. And that's what makes it very simple for him. It's either good or it's bad. And that's what you want. You want somebody there to be honest. He didn't try to make airs up about his culinary experience in anything, especially in barbecue, but he knows what good barbecue tastes like because he's raised in Florida, right below Georgia where I was raised, so he knows. And you don't have to have this judging training to decide what tastes good and what doesn't.
Then the third judge rounding out that panel is Art Smith. Now, this is a completely different change from Warren, and obviously yourself, he's the guy that's a little bit more classically trained and maybe brought on to kind of pick out the more refined skills or the abilities of the contestants at this point. How did you find Art fit into that panel?
Art fit very well into it because, like you said, he picked out a lot of where I'm all about presentation. I know that's part of the story, but it gets down to the end of the day, the one with the best taste, best flavor is going to win it for me in tenderness. Art gets wrapped up in the presentation of the product, which he should be. I mean, he notices the garnish, he notices the side dishes, how they were prepared, and a lot of times me and him come head to head on some of that stuff. He gets kind of long-winded on about thinking how damn good coleslaw something is when I'm sitting down there just, I done heard all I want to hear about coleslaw. Let's eat this man's barbecue and score, But he's got his place there. I mean, he's very well refined and known about foods overall, because you got to understand, it's not just about barbecue, it's about side dishes also, and he knows a lot about those type things. And he was raised in Jasper, Florida, so he was raised right there on the farm. He knows what barbecue's supposed to taste like also.
So overall, you're happy with the judging and the way you guys were set up in order to kind of judge this whole competition?
Yes. I mean, we all feed off of one another. I mean, we're not going to always agree. We didn't agree on everything, but that's what judging is about. It's opinions, and it's like assholes. Everybody's got one.
That's right. So when we look at the contestants this time around, and I've only seen a couple of the sizzle reels where Danielle Domofsky was on, Big Mista was on, Big Papa Smokers was on the sizzle reel, and I don't know all the other teams that are on there, but you were able to see everybody up there. You were able to see them interact with the stuff that they're familiar with, that being the barbecue meats, but then you're also able to see how they act in the face of adversity, whether it be the big alligator that's been taken out on the videos online or whatever else those kind of exotic dishes are. What did you think of the caliber of team, and did you think that they were a good fit for the show, or would you have liked to seen some other teams in there?
Everybody that got on that show had to send their interview in. I mean, their tape to be monitored and looked at and decided on. And TLC made great choices, and everybody there, I mean, naturally everybody was comfortable anytime they were given their basic barbecue meat. Whatever it happened to be, whether it was ribs, brisket, or chicken, whatever. But when they laid out some of those exotic things that you've already mentioned, that was priceless. That was priceless to be able to see some of the faces of these people when they laid those out. But then again, you'd watch one or two of them out of the four that wasn't intimidated by this, and I'd noticed that. I'd noticed that. I'd go ahead and I'd say, well, that guy right there, he didn't jump back, worried about the alligator, and he didn't. And a lot of times they try out a good dish, because they had done it in the past, so they were just wasn't intimidated by it. Period. They were going to go and they made the best they could out of it. You had some that, just could never get around what they were trying to do. I mean, they're trying to do something with, the biggest reptile we have on our North American continent. They just can't get around it. And they faltered with it. But that's part of elimination. That's part of being a contestant. That's part of being in a competition. It's how well you handle the adversity.
And is the complete show now all been filmed and it's all in the can, ready to start August 12th?
It's all been shot. Starts airing August the 12th, 10 o'clock. We follow our American Chopper, the Tuttles, and it's going to be great. It's going to be a whole different type deal than we had last year. But it's going to be a good show, really good show.
We're talking with one of the judges on that show, by the way, Season 2 BBQ Pitmasters, Myron Mixon, Pitmaster of Jack's Old South. Myron, so as we kind of transition away from the TV show, and it sounds like, at least for the people that are going to be hating on the show regardless just because of format change, they're probably going to have some dislikes regardless about it. But there's a number of other people that are out there that are open-minded that might not be as happy with the format change, but they want to see barbecue still stay out in the forefront. And
exactly right. And that's what I was fixing to say. It may not be exactly the way you want it on there, but guys out in the diehard barbecue world, just be glad we got a show on there.
That's right.
That's where you need to look at it. Be glad we still got a presence out there and I'm telling you, we got a presence in a big way. We got the biggest prize money in any kind of cook show, not just barbecue, but any cook show. On those chop series and stuff you see where they send the chef's ass home, they're cooking for $10,000. This is $100,000 somebody walked away with.
Right, so it's
that ain't chump change.
No, that's a very good prize.
A $10,000 prize, man, you could piss away at a bar in one night.
That's right.
$100,000, that's something different.
Yeah, $100,000 would take at least 2 days, right?
Oh, yeah, at least 2 days.
That's right. So it's going to be on, and again, it starts August 12th, TLC at 10 o'clock on Thursdays. You've done some other appearances on Craig Ferguson. You really seemed to kind of gravitate towards his personality, and you seem to work very well together. What is it that really seems to feed your fire and enable you to work that well off of a really famous guy and doing very well in his time slot and on his show? Because I think he's got a different show than any other talk shows out there.
You see guys have writers for their shows like the Lenos and I like Letterman and all of them, but this guy doesn't have any writers. He makes his stuff up as he goes. He's got that great of a sense of humor, and he can feed off anything you're doing. A lot of it gravitates to the more risque and, the which I love it. And all I got to do is sit up there and do things I do, and that's like me pitching softballs to him. He's just knocking them out of the park. And I just got to be what you call the Andy Griffin to his Barney Fife. I'm just got to be the straight man. He's that good. And this last episode where I did stuff like the sausage stuffed tenderloin,
right.
He couldn't wait to get out there to do that deal. It's just great to be on there with him. And you get a lot more time with him on there than you do in the others. The others are so scripted about, the time frame that you got to be out there in and out. Well, he'll take as much time as it takes to get done what he wants to get done. He kind of calls the shots with it. And he's great to be with. We did like 14 little scripts with him while I was there. They're going to be injected all during the summer. And it's going to revolve around the theme of barbecue, the food of love. So you can go ahead and take that for whatever you want to. You're going to be able to see me 14 other times in here.
Yeah, I've always said that when you talk competition barbecue with anybody, if somebody's listening in or they stumble in on the show and they don't realize what we're talking about, the homoeroticism reigns supreme when you talk about competition barbecue and injecting meats and all that stuff. No doubt about it. That's right. So, again, we're talking with Myron Mixon here, pitmaster of Jack's Old South. So as we look forward, well, I guess to touch on the Craig Ferguson thing one more time, with all the cast of people that you had on season one, and there were a lot of people that made, very good marks and had a lot of great face time and did very well with the audience, but you really seem to be kind of that breakout personality, and you get it in every kind of reality show or docudrama or whatever you want to call them these days, but you usually have a breakout star, and you happen to be the guy that is doing that. What's it like riding that wave and getting to go on these big shows and a number of other talk shows, not to mention, the number one all-time barbecue radio show, the BBQ Central Show? What's it been like for you over these last, 12, 13 months?
It's been great. I take it with a grain of salt. I'm not going to sit here and say, and it's helped me financially. It's helped me in any of my business endeavors. It got me a book deal. We're writing a cookbook right now with some stories in it about some of my comps. It's brought a lot of things to my plate that never would have happened. But I also am smart enough to know, this ain't gonna last forever. I know I'm not an actor, and I'm not gonna be able to do this all the time. I'm here as long as TLC wants me to keep doing this show, and I realize that. So I'm gonna get as much exposure I can out of it. I'm going to try to do as much for myself out of it as I possibly can. But in the same thing, by me doing that, it's going to help everything that's barbecue. Anything that's barbecue is going to benefit from it. From these people that's doing contests. Carolyn Wells, the queen of KCBS, told me last year that their sign-up rate for new members of KCBS was up when those shows were airing. And these were from people who weren't really barbecue people. They heard us mention KCBS so much, they go online, they signed up, and they joined. and people are going to barbecue contests that never had gone before. That is the audience you're trying to reach. So, yeah, Myron's benefiting from it. I was lying if I said I wasn't. But the benefit's going to come long after Myron's gone from this. I mean, it's going to open up a whole new audience to anything barbecue, from restaurants to contests to, cook schools, cookbooks, anything associated with barbecue. This is going to help.
That's right. And we are talking with Myron Mixon. One of the other things that I wanted to mention here, and this is, I guess I need to be in full disclosure for the Centralites listening, not necessarily to you, Myron, but one of the headline sponsors of the show right now, here, at least for the next month or two, is the Taste of the Deerfield Valley, and that's going to be the 5th annual coming up here this September. You happen to be the guy that's headlining this with a VIP dinner. You have a cooking demonstration. There's going to be a lot of great food there, regardless, and they can find out more about that at celebratethevalley.com. But how were you approached to get into this event? And obviously, you thought it was good enough.
I'm up here right now in Vermont. We're up here doing some pre-PR stuff from today all the way through Thursday, meeting some folks, even the governor of Vermont. I'm meeting him tomorrow. And they're really behind this. And I am doing the VIP dinner. We're doing at the Hermitage Inn here. And the way I got approached with it was, these people are taking an active, and I'm saying these people, the Chamber of Commerce, the Economic Development. There's a whole group here, the people that own the inns and the restaurants and the hotels and the ski resort here. All these people are taking an interest in that community, and they want to bring in what they call a new audience to their place. They want people to come that normally don't come to this area. And, whatever reason they think barbecue people might be it. And that's what I'm doing here. We're going to be putting on some demos. We're going to be feeding some folks. They're going to try to open up a whole new audience to their events here, and maybe they'll come back during the ski season and fill up some of these hotels they got here, come up and do some other things in that area. And this is a good example of people taking and getting involved in their own areas and their own community.
That's going to be September 10th through the 12th. So, especially for the folks that are obviously in that northeast region of the country, but if you're listening to the show and, maybe you're down south like Myron is down at his house or out west or whatever, and you're looking for, a nice couple-day retreat to get out, but you want to hang with Myron, this is probably one of those great events, unless you're going to be taking his cooking school, obviously, where you can get in. It's like $159 a person for lodging, and to get out there, that's probably minus the cost to get out to the actual event itself. But as far as that VIP,
I'll tell you what they got on the low end of this thing, they got a package, a 2-day package thing, $259 a person that gets you into everything that I'll be doing, everything.
Wow.
They're gonna have a taste of the Deerfield Valley, where they got all the restaurants here, and I mean, there's a list of restaurants. I mean, the Matterhorn, the Hermitage. I mean, you got the Harriman's Restaurant, Maple Leaf Malt Brewery. All these restaurants are going to be having a taste test down here, where you can go through, sample all these foods, pick the winner, and they get bragging rights for the year. I mean, it's just a great thing and a gorgeous part of this U.S. I mean, it's just gorgeous up here.
And as far as what you're going to be doing demonstration-wise, what can people expect if they sign up? What are they going to be able to see you do? And are they going to be able to kind of schmooze around with you, too?
Well, what we're going to be doing as far as the demonstration, and there's another Chef Robert, I think, a while ago when you was talking about from Vermont. He's going to be here. We're going to be doing something with the junior Iron Chefs. He's going to be doing that. Where they get some kids to come up and do some of the Iron Chef type thing. But I'm going to be doing some Ripton demos. We're going to be making up some rubs, go through some sauces and things like that. And actually doing some of the cooking and giving out some pork sliders and everything to everybody.
Plus the beer pairing I've been hearing so much about. Got to love the beer pairing.
Yeah, they're doing this beer tasting up here and wine tasting. I didn't realize that beer and wine was such a big thing. I'm more on that. I don't know if you can say it or not, but I'm more on that blended whiskey.
Yeah.
And I am on the beer and the wines. But it's a big thing, and they're going to have all that going on with arts and crafts. It's just, again, involvement of a community trying to do better for their area. And we've been meeting all day today. I got here this morning at 10 o'clock, and I came in here at 9:30 to wait on you to call. And these people are really fired up about this.
Yeah, it's got to be good to see.
They're talking about next year doing a KCBS competition here.
Oh, now we're stepping it up a little bit. That's right. That would be awesome to go from just, you and then stepping it up to an actual competition just a year later. Myron Mixon joining us here, pitmaster of Jack's Old South. Myron, this is going to be September 10th through the 12th, and again, it's celebratethevalley.com. So if you're interested, that's definitely something you're going to want to check out. Has the TV show and all the other PR obligations that you've had here over the last 6-8 months, has that really kind of cut into the amount of competing that you've been able to do this year?
A lot, Greg. I mean, normally in a season, I'll do 30 to 40 contests a year, and it's got me now where I probably, this time of year, I've done over 20. I might have done 12, maybe even 10. I just hadn't had the time to do them. The show, it took 6 weeks, and then we had probably 3 or 4 weeks of, pre-stuff we had to do for it and other engagements. It's got me where I can't compete like I used to.
How does that sit with you? I mean, obviously you're happy doing the other stuff just because it's something new, something different. But does the guy that has always been out there competing and doing those amount of competitions during the course of the year, does that kind of eat at you a little bit?
It does. I mean, I call that my job. A competition, I miss my job. I miss it a lot. I get to go do one here. I'll be in Dillard, Georgia next week in the North Georgia mountains. That'll be my first one in 2 or 3 months. And I'll do it. I'll be doing the one in Talladega. I'll be at Jack Daniels, I hope. And past those few, I really don't know where I'll be at. That's 3. And generally I'd have every weekend in October booked. But I got things booked, but it ain't contest.
So if you get down to the Jack Daniels this year, and we talked about this last year, kind of leading up to that event, you went down your 12th time in a row. You were a reserve grand champion, just one step away from winning it all. Really, the odds-on favorite, I think, from a very small handful group of other teams that had a chance to really snap it. You're going potentially your 13th year in a row. Does this year have to be the year that you win, or you wonder, even if you keep going back, 14th and 15th year, at some point, is it just not in the cards for Jack's Old South?
I don't know. It's hard. I'm beginning to think that, but I enjoy going back. But, Dale Earnhardt, he win and win. He never won the Daytona 500 until, 2000 maybe, or 98, 99. He raced it 20-something times before he ever won it. Thought he'd never win it. I'm at that point now where, as close as I was last year, I just, it may not be in the cards. It may not be in the cards. And as I've gotten older, I'm more reflective on it about it. Maybe it wasn't meant to be, but it still pisses me off. So I go ahead and tell you, I want to win it so damn bad, it pisses me off.
And you still do very well in Florida Barbecue Association events, and you're still obviously doing your first love, kind of where you were brought up in the competition world, where you got your chops in the Memphis Barbecue Network. As you kind of surveil the MBN right now, how do you think the situation, or not the situation, but how do you think the whole society itself, that being the MBN, is sitting right now? And do you see it kind of really growing here over the next 2, 3, 4 years?
Right now, I mean, they've got more MBN contests than they ever have had, the Memphis style. And they're putting them into a lot of states that used to didn't have them. But I think the key to them, and they started it, used to all of your Memphis and male MBN reps came from the Memphis area. And they have put in a program now where they're taking reps from other states, which I think they should have been doing that the whole time, to keep up people wanting to keep joining. But now we have reps from Georgia. They got reps, I think, from Alabama. They got reps from all over that are repping the MBN contest. So it's just not feeling like a Memphis-oriented organization totally. Even though there's always been contests in other states, your reps always came from the Memphis area. And but now you have some of your own that's actually there. They're actually working the organization. They're actually working the organizers of the new contest, giving them hands-on help, where it used to be hard for that to happen when the rep was in Memphis. The guy put on the contest to say it was in Georgia, and he needed somebody to come down and look at something for him or help him with something. That wasn't happening. But it is now. And I see big strides for it.
Does MBN or the Memphis style of cooking, is that always going to have a special place in your heart when you eventually hang up the smoker and call it a day?
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's what I learned how to cook on. I mean, you know, doing the whole hog, doing on-site judging, regardless of what the judges say about me now, you know, I really don't give a shit. But, I mean, I love that style of cooking. You know, and I love it where the judges are able to come to the site and see how the product was taken from the raw product to the grill to the table. And if I was judging, that's what I'd want to do. I'd want to come look at that.
So as you look at it, and obviously you would think that Jack's Old South is always going to be kind of that prohibitive favorite, regardless of whatever competition that you're going to, cooking that MBN style. But as you kind of surveil the other teams, what are some of the other, in your estimation, what are some of the other top 2-3 teams out there right now where if they showed up at a competition where Jack's Old South was, you were like, man, you know, I'm going to have to keep an eye on those guys today?
You talking about the NBN?
Yeah.
Oh, the Memphis style. Yazoo Delta out of the Memphis area. They're one of the, you know, top teams out there now that goes and cooks a lot. Probably to pick a second probably would be another team from that area. They're the 10 Bones. And then you got several good teams here that's coming out of Georgia now. You got Bubba Grills and you got, trying to think of another team up outside of the Memphis area. You got Natural Born Grillers, always in the hunt. I mean, you got a lot of good teams out there, but a lot of them are doing the same thing that I'm doing. I'm cutting back because I don't have time. A lot of them are cutting back for other reasons. I mean, they're just not going and running like they used to.
Is it a sign of just economy? I mean, obviously you have some other commitments, but do you hear from everybody that you know that the economy is still kind of taking a toll as far as contests?
Sure you do. I mean, you hear about the money. And plus, I'll tell you something. I've had a different, I love everybody that's ever cooked with me, but I've had a different gang of guys around me at a lot of different times in my career. And you wear these people out, that's what you do. As much as they love it, they take away from other things that maybe they should have been doing or they wanted to do. And after 3 or 4 years of it, they have to move on and you know, go to the ball, you know, the youngest ball games, and then you have to replace them. And a lot of teams, it's hard to replace, you know, good people. It's hard to replace them. And it's just hard to find good folks to really count on can help you win.
This is Myron Mixon. He is the pitmaster of Jack's Old South. And again, if you're going to be up in the northeast portion of the country, September 10th through the 12th, Taste of the Deerfield Valley, and you can find out more information about that. CelebrateTheValley.com is that website. Myron's website is jacksoldsouth.com. Myron, as always, I appreciate you taking time out of the busy schedule to join me here on the Internet Radio Show and give us all the updates on Season 2 for BBQ Pitmasters, some competition talk as well, and that's going to start August 12th for the premiere of Season 2 on TLC. Always a pleasure, Myron, and appreciate you doing it.
Anytime you want me to, big man, give me a holler.
All right, I'll be doing that. Thanks, Myron. I appreciate it. There he is.
Bye-bye.
Myron Mixon, ladies and gentlemen. Man, you're getting off some bombs there. Yeah. Look out. That was the that's what you get when you don't have to ride the censor beep for internet radio. Because on the FCC, I think we would have had to dump him, or on terrestrial radio, we would have had to dump him per FCC regulation, I think 4 times. Minimum of 4 times. So that was Myron Mixon again. JacksOldSouth.com if you want to keep up with what he has going on. All right, we have 20 minutes till the top of the hour. I have El Capitan's Santa Maria style seasoning. I have a barbecue hook, and I have some wine-infused Oakwood products from Greenleaf Barbecue. So if you want to jump in, 877-448-0433. You do not have to know an answer to a question. You do not have to put up with annoying Harry Carey in his post-mortem ossified state. All you have to do is pick up the telephone and dial the winning touch-tone numbers, 877-448-0433. Well, I think after listening to Myron, I'm a little bit more excited to look at Season 2. And I guess the most important thing that we need to understand here is this, as fans of the show, and especially for the people that are very diehard on Season 1's format, because it was showing their love, their passion, the competition barbecue side of things, and now that's not going to happen. One, it's still on television, which he mentioned, and that's really good. I mean, you got to have some type of barbecue on television. Is it going to be? Is the prize money really going to be that big of a difference maker? Now, certainly, 10 times more prize money than a Chopped or the next biggest idiot on the Food Network or whatever the hell you want to call it. I mean, that's really relevant to the people that are competing in that particular show, but I don't know if seeing $100,000 is going to make anybody draw their attention more to watching the show. I don't know. We go to area code 323, Barbecue Central Radio Show, name and where you're calling from.
This is Sylvia Curry.
I'm sorry?
Calling, I guess, Greg. Didn't you just say to call in the number for winning something?
Yes, and who is this?
Sylvia Curry.
Oh, hi, Sylvia. How are you?
Pretty good.
All right, Sylvia, here's what I have. I have a barbecue or an Easy Hook from the good folks over at Barbecue Hooks. I have a El Capitan Santa Maria style seasoning, which is awesome. And I also have wine-infused Oakwood products from Greenleaf Barbecue. What one would you like?
The wine-infused products.
All right, here's what you need to do, Sylvia. Just go ahead and email me, Greg, at the BBQ Central Show with your shipping information, and we will get you hooked up from there.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right, thank you for calling in tonight, Sylvia. Okay, got to be honest. I thought you said Silver Fox was calling in. I was like, Brett Favre is a fan of the show? Yeah, baby! Yeah! Sylvia wins the Oakwood wine-infused Oakwood products. So we have a barbecue hook left, and we have El Capitan's Santa Maria-style seasoning. Area code 585, name and where you're calling from.
Sorry?
Who is this?
This is Roger.
Roger, calling in where you don't have to answer questions, I see.
Don't remind me.
No, that's fine. I have a barbecue hook, and I have an El Capitan Santa Maria-style seasoning. Does one trip your trigger more than the other?
I think the seasoning.
Let me tell you something about that, Roger. That seasoning is spectacular. You're going to be using it on everything, I guarantee it.
I'll put it on strawberries.
You won't be disappointed if you put it on strawberries. Let me just say that. All right, Roger, all you need to do is email me your shipping info, Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com.
Sounds good, Greg. Thanks a lot.
All right, thanks for calling in tonight, Roger. And we race over to area code 704, Barbecue Central Radio Show, name and where you're calling from.
This is Wayne. I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Did you say Wayne with a W?
Yes, Wayne with a W.
Wayne with a W. How's Charlotte tonight, Wayne? Give us the traffic traffic report from Charlotte.
Traffic report in Charlotte. Right now, it is wet.
It's wet.
Wet. We got rained on like crazy.
Yeah, that's never good. It's never good when you're barbecuing and it's raining out like cats and dogs. All right, Wayne, we have one thing left in the prize closet, and that is the Easy Hook from the good folks over at Barbecue Hooks. That's Marcia Fox over there. Are you interested in the Easy Hook?
Absolutely.
All right, now, I know I've stated this on previous shows, but when you get the Easy Hook, Wayne, don't, no matter how much curiosity wants to get the best of you, don't stick your finger on the end of the Easy Hook because it will go right through your finger. It's that sharp. Don't stick it in your eyeball. You're going to want to. You're going to want to, especially now that I'm saying it. But try with all of your fibers of your being to not stick your finger down there, and you will be you'll be very happy that you listened to me. Believe me.
I appreciate it.
All right, Wayne, so all you need to do is send me your shipping info and do that via email, Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com, and Marcia Fox and the good folks over at Easy Hook will get you, no pun intended, will get you hooked up.
Great. Thank you very much.
All right. Thanks for listening tonight, Wayne. Beat it. That's going to do it for me. Winners, winners, chickens, dinners. Hey, if you have a friend that likes barbecue and grilling, you can turn them on to the show. The BBQCentralShow.com. That's the website. They have iPods. They like to listen to podcasts. Go ahead and turn them on to the iTunes. You can get it right there. You can go right to the BBQCentralShow.com website and get the archives right there. Download them right to your MP3 player or device or whatever the hell it is you listen to. Thanks to Heath Hall from Pork Barrel BBQ. PorkBarrelBBQ.com is his website, talking about their business, Sauce and Rub, talking about a little bit of competition, talking about the restaurant biz. Also, many thanks to my just previous segment guest, Myron Mixon from Jack's Old South. JacksOldSouth.com, his website. TLC's BBQ Pitmasters Season 2 coming on premiere episode Thursday, August 12th at 10 p.m. following American Choppers. Don't forget their Taste of the Deerfield Valley coming up September 10th through the 12th. He's going to be the headliner. I didn't get an invite. Damn it. Maybe next year. Taste of the Deerfield Valley. That's celebratethevalley.com. So check it out if you want to kind of escape up there to the northeast portion of the country. It's fabulous up there, especially in September, man. Leaves turning, succulent fall weather, Myron Mixon and beer pairings, baby. Doesn't get any better than that. I will see you back here next Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And until then, this is your program host and proud U.S. American, Greg Rempe. Good night now.